What's good, everybody? We back again with another video, the unluckiest players in NBA history part 1. So we're gonna do part 1 and part 2 today, man. Unluckiest players. I seen the thumbnail and Brandon Knight's on there, and he has to be the unluckiest. I don't know what that was, but he got to be the unluckiest player in NBA history by far. By far, man. Before we get started, make sure you like, comment, share, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the team. Follow me on all the socials down below, man. Show me some love down there. It'll be in the description as well, so follow me on all those. But I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. We gotta get to this. Here we go, man.
Is luck a real thing? It's a question that everyone at some point has probably asked themselves. There's no way to prove or quantify its existence. But if it does in fact embrace its presence upon certain
the fakest move,
these players hardly got any of it.
Here we go. Oh, this is the like he went in on this intro. I can't even lie to you. Okay.
It's no secret that Michael Jordan has done pretty well for himself, with
That's
massive amount of success coming not only during his NBA career, but following his NBA career as well. He was able to become the first ever basketball billionaire. But what if I told you that Hall of Famer Spencer Haywood could have become the first basketball billionaire if it wasn't for a mistake that ended up haunting him for the rest of his life? When Spencer Haywood was in the midst of becoming one of the league's rising stars in the early 1970s, Nike's co-founder Phil Knight took notice. Nike was still relatively unknown at the time, so of course they were desperately looking for someone to rep their shoes, and Phil Knight believed he found the athlete he was looking for to help push their product in Spencer Haywood. Phil believed that Spencer had the it factor, and it also helped that he was playing for the Seattle Supersonics, a franchise that was within driving distance from where Phil lived in Oregon. Once again, Nike was still in their infancy stage. They weren't nearly as big as we know them to be.
Those shoes right there, this is an old picture. These shoes are clean now. Like, these are sick now.
Today, most top-level athletes at the time were either with Adidas or Converse. In fact, Nike only had one shoe at the time, the Nike Blazer. Spencer decided to wear the Nike Blazers on the court just to, you know, test drive them. And players like Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Oscar Robertson made fun of him for wearing them. But despite the jokes from his peers, he still took a chance on Nike. He was reportedly offered 2 options by Nike in exchange for promoting their shoes, either $100,000 cash or a 10% stake in the company. Basically, they approached Haywood and said that they would be willing to give him a little percentage of the company because they...
Do you know how much 10% is of the company? Oh, hold up. I'm sorry.
$1,000 cash.
And I know y'all, a lot of y'all paused it too much. Look, man. This is my reaction. If I need to pause it, I'm going to pause it. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get hit with strikes or nothing. If I need to pause it, if I need to say something, I'm going to say it. If I don't need to say something, I'm going to let it play. But they offered him $100,000 or 10% of Nike.
Or a 10% stake in the company. Basically, they approached Haywood and said that they would be willing to
know how much money he would have?
The company because they didn't have a whole lot of cash.
I'll be bringing this up.
Growing. While tempting, Spencer's agent advised him to just take the cash instead, as his agent believed that Nike wouldn't last very long. Obviously, at the time, not taking the stock wasn't really a big deal, but over time, as you could imagine, the value of said stock increased astronomically. Reportedly, today, the 10% ownership would equate to billions of dollars.
He would have had $8.6 billion. I'd be sick every day of my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I passed up 10% of the stake, I would be sick for the rest of my life. Every day I wake up, dog, I should have taken that money. Every day, like, you know how they say, nah, I don't really regret anything because that's what made me the person I am today. I think this might have been one of them. I might regret every single day I wake up. I should have taken that money, or that percent, that stake.
You heard that correctly. If only he had taken the other option he was offered, he'd be a billionaire right now as we speak. Now, I did also read somewhere that he actually did initially take the equity deal, but his agent later sold the stock behind his back because he wanted his cut of the deal ASAP. But either way you slice it, his agent essentially screwed him out of future earnings of life-changing proportions. He still calls it the worst decision of his life. He also says that whenever he and MJ hangs out, MJ always gives him a hard time about it. I can only imagine
I would not hang out with Michael
for him to live with.
Oh, I'd be sick. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'd be sick forever. I'd be sick for the rest of my life. 8.6 billion. That's not million. That is billion. That's how much you would have had today. 8.6 billion. And he get my gosh.
For players to get crossed up or dunked on from time to time. I mean, that's just a part of the game.
He passed up.
But those plays become so recognizable that they're pretty much the only thing you're known for. I would consider
they got to show the layup that he smoked. The game winning layup.
Night, the first thing that comes to your mind are all the unfortunate plays he's been a part of. I know this because those are what literally pops up when you type in his name.
Missed game winning layup.
Let me refresh your
The game-winning layup is the worst one. Well, this is worse. Of course, he never recovered. That started his bad luck. You gotta go to the layup. This one. This is hilarious. To win the game. How do you get a steal to win the game and you smoke the lay? He smoked the layup. Just dunk it.
2 seconds, 1 second. Oh, he missed it at the horn.
That wasn't the only time he missed a wide open layup towards the end of a close game.
No.
Bass, steal by the Pistons, Knights all alone. Oh, he missed it. Are you kidding me?
And for what it's worth, he choked away a big lead to Patrick Beverley in the 2015 Skills Challenge.
He had the worst luck of all time when it comes to NBA players. Dude got the worst luck.
Even able to say that he put on an NBA jersey in the first place.
That's the highest moment of his career.
He made millions of dollars playing basketball, for Pete's sake. Something we all wish we could do. But no matter how hard you try, you can't hide the fact that he always seemed to be the wrong end of highlights. I've always been aware that Tracy McGrady never really had all that much luck in the playoffs, but when
I'm sorry, I'm still cut. Do y'all realize this man, y'all gonna be like, move on. He lost $8.6 billion. I can't get over. That's gonna have me mind blown for like a week. I can't even pick, dude, 8.6 billion. Billion. I'm sure he would have sold it sooner. But if he would have kept that till now, or he might not have. He might have waited out. Once it hit a billion, I'm selling it. I'm sorry. I'll sell part of the. I'm selling part of the stock, man. $8.6 billion is insane to me.
Visiting his career through various articles, I was kind of surprised just how bad his luck really was. The narrative that followed him around was that he constantly had a reputation of being unable to make it out of the first round. Here's how it all went down. Let's start off all the way from the beginning. He got his very first taste of the playoffs in the year 2000. He and his cousin Vince Carter went up against the New York Knicks in the first round, but it was a rather quick series. They would end up getting swept, and by then, McGrady was sick and tired of being in Vince's shadow, so he subsequently signed with the Orlando Magic in hopes to create a dynamic duo with Grant Hill. McGrady even went on record record saying that he truly believed that he and Hill could make it out of the East. But Hill's bad luck of his own derailed that dream. He was hampered by ankle injuries, so McGrady was pretty much forced to fend for himself and become more of a solo act. In his first 2 years with Orlando, he managed to lead the Magic to the playoffs, but would get gentlemen swept in the first round in back-to-back years. The 2003 playoffs was a much different story. They definitely didn't get gentlemen swept. In fact, at one point, the 8th seeded Magic actually had a 3-1 lead over the number 1 seed Pistons in that first round. But as we all know, Orlando would go on to blow that 3-1 lead, in part due to McGrady celebrating too early and essentially jinxing them. And things didn't really get better the next year.
He said, "I'm happy I'm not the first round."
Finished dead last in the East, despite McGrady winning his 2nd consecutive scoring title. He was then traded to Houston in the summer of 2004, which was something that he was actually happy about. He was extremely excited to play alongside Yao Ming. The Rockets struggled in the beginning of that season, but would eventually get it together just in time for the postseason, where they would face the Dallas Mavericks in the first round of the 2005 NBA playoffs. It was
Houston, Dallas,
series, going all the way to 7 games. But McGrady came out cold in Game 7, missing his first 7 shots, en route to a 40-point blowout loss. The next season was about as uneventful as it gets, as McGrady appeared in only 47 games due to injury, including one moment where he had to be carried off the court on a stretcher, and Houston failed to qualify for the playoffs. In the 2007 NBA playoffs, the Rockets would match up against the Utah Jazz, and by this time, the pressure to make it out of the first round really increased. McGrady even went out of his way to say, "If we don't get out of the first round, it's on me." The home team of each contest would win through the first 6 games of that series. So when Game 7 was set to take place in Houston, it meant that the Rockets advancing might finally become a reality. But they ended up losing by just 4 points in that deciding game, which had to hurt. Matter of fact, it was devastating, which was evident in Tracy McGrady's post-game press conference.
Maybe I could have did more, but it didn't happen. I tried, man. I tried.
Dang.
That would hurt. Revenge against Utah in the 2008
That would hurt to not make it ever.
Ended even quicker. Houston was once again eliminated in the first round, despite a 40-point performance by McGrady in Game 6. In 2009, they finally did it. The Rockets finally made it past the first round when they eliminated the Portland Trail Blazers in 6 games. However, T-Mac never got to experience the second round with them because he just so happened to have surgery in the middle of that season. The timing couldn't have been any worse. The Rockets pushed the eventual champion Los Angeles Lakers to 7 games in the semifinals. At this point, the Rockets were pretty much done with McGrady, so they traded him to the New York Knicks in early 2010. And from that point on, he bounced around from team to team
he got to the Spurs.
And even played a little bit in China until he got one last chance in the NBA with the San Antonio Spurs.
He got to the finals.
This was his last opportunity to finally get his hands on a ring. But you know, he never really had the best of luck when it came to the playoffs.
James catches, puts up a 3.
He almost had a ring. Oh, that hurts. Oh, he almost had a ring. He almost had a ring.
Were literally just seconds away from.
He should have just.
They probably cut him. That he was already sniffing the champagne during the closing moments, but Ray Allen just had to hit that shot, which only further cemented him on this list. By the time it was all said and done, he ultimately ended up losing a total of 3 Game 7s in the first round, 4 overall if you want to count the 2013 one in the finals. And that's just Game 7s we're talking about. Your heart has to go out to him. And would you look at that, T-Mac might have actually sprinkled some of that first round bad luck onto Kyrie and KD.
KD and Kyrie, are they the most skilled pair of teammates that we've ever seen?
Without a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I haven't seen a pair, a duo that skilled
A week later, they got swept in the first round.
Things would be different, but a first-round loss. And a sweep. Boston, 4 in a row.
Crazy.
Just the timing is funny, that's all.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That is crazy. He said that, and a week later, they get swept out the first round. And the first round, like, they didn't pass the first round. That's crazy. I didn't even think of that. That's crazy, man. That's it for the video. Part 2 is coming soon. Make sure you like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. Follow me on all the socials. It'll be down below, man. I'll catch you on the next one, though. I'm out. Peace.